Today I'm going to do a brunette hair color with Copic markers that my friend Jay requested, so this is for you. I'm using a La La Land Creafts image, and this can be used throughout the year. It's called Awareness Ribbon Marci. I'm establishing or mapping my shadow areas using my E33, one of my lighter highlights. This will be a flicking motion, not a blending motion, just using the very tip of your marker and barely touching your paper, especially if you're using a smooth paper like Express It without teeth. There is no tooth to this, and your markers will just glide, so you can barely touch your marker to it. This technique works best if you use your marker straight up and down. I'm using it at a slight angle in order for you to be able to see what I'm doing. If I did it straight up and down, I would be blocking the camera. But you will have better luck if you keep your hand straight up and down. And again, a flicking motion with the wrist. When you flick where you leave the paper, it becomes a smaller, thinner line. You can do a long one or a short one. When I'm in areas of hills and valleys with curl, you'll need to do short flicking methods. Over on the area of the hair by the crown where it's straight, you can do longer flicking methods. Just flicking toward the highlight. And now I'm going to be using a shadow area, and right on top of that, I'm going to be putting in my shadow. Now the first set of E33 was just mapping the area in case I wanted to change it. Now I'm actually establishing my shadow area, and that would be around the outer edges of the head so that you have a more of a cylindrical shape, that it will be dimensional. Short flicking methods. And it will be any area where you will have hair in front of it, forming a cast shadow. On a hill and valley, it will be on your valley areas. You'll also want to have it flicking darker at the very part, at the top of the crown, and flicking out on both sides. Again, some more hills and valleys. Those are always fun to color. This is a great image because you can practice both hills and valleys as well as straight hair. I think I probably should have colored her ears, but I really wasn't sure if they were her ears or earrings, and I kind of wanted to reserve that and determine that at the end after I color the ribbon to see if I want to make them big earrings instead of ears. Do you ever do that when you're coloring an image, then all of a sudden you decide, oh, I forgot that piece of the anatomy, or I colored it the wrong color because maybe it was supposed to be an embellishment. But anyway, I do it all the time. So do you see the shape taking place? And now we're going to be using our midtone, one of our midtones, my E25. Flicking right over the top and extending, but not blending. Just continue to flick with wrist action, very light, and the flicking should go toward the highlight. Very light touch. The harder you press, the wider your lines will be because it will cause pressure on your brush. So use just the very tip. And if you use a larger image on things too, the larger, if you're choosing to use digital images with this technique, you will have more white space to be able to play with. Now we're flicking with our next lighter tone, E33. Again, flicking. We will not be blending at all on this technique with the hair, merely flicking. And I will be reserving some white. That's rare for me. I usually do not have white. I usually always have the highlight with my very lightest highlight color. But in this case, I am going to be reserving some white. Now I'm going to take what I would normally use for a cast shadow, which is my E29, and I'm going to use it very sparingly. Again, flicking in the very darkest cast shadow areas. It will allow a lot more definition, a lot more contrast, but do not overdo it, because then when you start blending out all your colors again, if you put in too much, you will lose your highlights. Again, a little bit on the valley part of the valley and hills, and around the area that is in back of that wavy hair. Isn't she adorable? I love this little image. She would have looked better if I would have colored her ears first. But don't look at that. Okay, just continue, very light motion, and we're just about getting finished with this cast shadow. I think there's enough. Now I'm going to just flick out, again, not blend out, but just flick out again with my Midtone, my E35, just to get a little bit more of a dimensional look there. And then what I am going to do now is take a very light highlight, my E21, and I'm going to just lightly flick in a few areas. I'm just so obsessive, I can't have too much white showing. You might want to just stop at that, but I do think this gives it a bit of a brighter look, and you still have your white. So forgive me if I have my obsession here by needing to add a little bit more and cover up a little bit more of the white. Okay, just a tiny bit does the job. And there you have it. I hope you liked this. I hope it was what you had in mind, Jay. And if you have any other requests, just don't hesitate. Thank you so much for watching. Come back soon.